Hello beautiful people, welcome to Remy's Fashion. My name is Remy. On this channel, we upload pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to sew a circle skirt using the pattern we drafted. If you have not seen that video where I drafted the circle skirt pattern, I'll put the link in the description box below and on the cards above. If you want to learn an easier way to sew this skirt, then keep watching. I'm going to be using this crepe fabric and my drafted pattern to cut the circle skirt. I also have interfacing here, which I'm going to be using for the band of my circle skirt. You should also have your other basic sewing tools. I'm going to fold my fabric and I'll place my pattern on it and I will cut. When I was drafting the pattern, I left 2 inches hem allowance. I'm going to reduce that to just ½ inch. I'm doing this because it's easier to fold or hem like 1/4 inch or ½ inch on a circle than folding 2 inches. When you fold and hem ½ inch or 1/4 inch, it comes out neater and better than folding 2 inches. So that's the reason why I'm going to reduce my folding allowance to ½ inch. So I have pinned my pattern to my fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut round this pattern. I folded my fabric into 2. That way I'm going to still have my full circle skirt. So I'm going to cut now all round and I'll follow the pattern and I'll cut out the inner part as well. So this is my center back and then this is my center front. Once I cut out, I'm going to notch so that I can know where my center front is and my center back. For this circle skirt, I'm going to be putting my zip at the back. You can put yours on the side. It depends on what you prefer, at the back or at the side. When I was drafting the pattern, I have an extra 1 inch allowance. So that's what I'm going to use to sew in my zipper. So after cutting out my circle skirt, I'm going to notch. This is my center front. I'm just going to notch. And then this is my center back. I'm going to notch that one as well. And then I will slash the center back open. So once I take out my pattern, this is what we have. So I'm just going to mark, this is my wrong side because the fabric looks the same. So I need to indicate to show me where the wrong side is and where the right side is. Okay, so this is my center back. This is where I'm going to be adding my zipper. This is our full circle skirt, both the front and the back. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut the waistband. So this is my waistband on fold. I folded my fabric and I placed it on top. Now I'm going to cut out. So after cutting out, this is what I have. I'm going to notch my center front and then I will cut the same thing on my interfacing. After cutting the interfacing, I'm going to iron it on to my main fabric. So don't forget to notch your center front. So this is my center front and then I'll take out my pattern. So this is what I have. So I'm going to cut my interfacing as well and then I will iron it on to my main fabric. So after cutting my waistband and ironing on the interfacing, this is what it looks like. This is my waistband. Okay, just going to fold it into 2. And this is my skirt. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to serge the bottom of my skirt. I'm also going to serge the edges as well for my center back. And then after doing that, I'm going to sew in my band. So now I'm going to show you how to insert the band. So this is my skirt and this is my center front. And this is my band and this is my center front where I notched. I'm going to place right side facing right sides like this together and I'm going to pin round. I'm going to use ½ inch sewing allowance to sew the band to my skirt. go ahead, I'll serge the bottom of my skirt and then I'll sew in my waistband. I've serged the bottom of my skirt and this is what it looks like. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to sew my band to the skirt. So I'm going to sew all the way using 1/2 inch seam allowance from the beginning to the end. I'm going to be sewing them together. There are different ways of finishing waistband, okay? So this is one of the ways. I'm going to be sewing them together like this. Using 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm going to sew it all the way down to the end. Once I finish sewing, I'm going to serge. I'm going to serge it to give it a neat finish. Once I've done that, I'm going to serge here as well, all the way to the end. And then I will serge the center back all the way to the end. So this is our skirt. It's beginning to take shape. So the next thing we're going to do now is to sew the waistband and serge it. I have serged the bottom, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew in the waistband. Like I said, I'm going to sew it completely. There are different methods of sewing in waistband. So I'm going to be using this method of sewing it completely. And then I'm going to serge it to finish the seams neatly. So now I'm going to sew using 1/2 inch seam allowance. So whatever seam allowance you left is what you should use in sewing. So I've sewn the band to the main skirt and this is what it looks like. See, this is the inside. I'm going to serge it neatly. So this is it. The band has been sewn to the skirt. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to serge the inside and then serge the edges, top to bottom, okay? And then we'll fix in our zipper. So I'm going to serge the inner part now. See how I finished it up neatly? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to serge these edges, this one and the other one. See, all nicely finished. See, neatly finished. This is what my skirt looks like after sewing in the band and serging the edges at the bottom and the inside. So this is the right side of the skirt. This is my circle skirt, very full. And then this is the inside. See how I finished the band neatly, and see how I serged here as well. See my skirt. This is the zip I'm going to sew in to my skirt. And then at the bottom part of my skirt, I'm just going to put in decorations. This is optional. You don't have to do this, but I want to do this. So I'm going to be using these rhinestones to decorate the bottom of my skirt. So I'm just going to stone them in like that. I made these stones myself. I cut out this pattern and then I filled it with stones. So this is what I'm going to be using to decorate the bottom. You can use it to decorate any part of your skirt. I'm going to be using for the bottom. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my zip like this. So I'm going to measure the length of the zip so I'll know how long my zip is going to be. I want my zip to stop here, so I'm just going to mark. Depending on how long your zip is, but this is the one I'm going to be using. You can use a shorter zip, okay? But I'm going to be using this one for my skirt. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this is where I'm going to be fixing my zipper. So now I'm going to sew from here all the way down with a permanent stitch. I'm going to lock it in. And then here is where my zipper is going to be. I'm going to go and do that now, and then I'll sew in the zipper and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I have sewn in my zipper and this is what it looks like. So this is the inside of my skirt. My skirt is neatly finished. You see how it is? And this is the zipper at the back. So this is what my skirt looks like. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in my rhinestone decorations and then hem my skirt, and then we're done. So like I said earlier, these are the rhinestones I'm going to be using for my skirt just to decorate the bottom. I'm going to do that. I will hem the bottom and then I will come and show you what it looks like. This is my circle skirt all finished. I have hemmed the skirt and I've added my rhinestones decoration, and this is what my skirt looks like. I'm going to open it up in full so that you can see. So this is my skirt. This is my circle skirt. This is my circle skirt all done. I hope this video tutorial was helpful. Please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or suggestions, I'll be in the comment section below. Please share, subscribe, and like. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next tutorial. Take care and God bless.